Hello everyone, I'm Ivan. Till this day, I still remember that there was always a old lady selling marshmallow in front of the school gate. Now, I'm not talking about the small packaged marshmallow that is common in the store, but I'm talking about this. The big, large, puffy marshmallows that can bring me a huge amount of pleasure as a kid. Every time I anticipate the ending of the school, me rushing out of the door, giving a coin to the old lady and asking, "Can I have a marshmallow?" She always smiles, splash a little bit of sugar on the swirling machine and weaving a large, big, and puffy marshmallow for me. And that represents the most simplest pleasure of a children. The marshmallow was only about 1 yuan, which is equivalent to 15 cents back that day. But that's the only allowance that I can get daily. Now imagine if I can get 3 yuan or even 5 yuan. Will I get 3 or 5 marshmallow? Possibly, because more marshmallow equals more pleasure. There's a group of psychologists conduct a famous marshmallow study on a group of kids. They randomly select kids and put them into the rooms and start to negotiate with them. Now listen, you can have a marshmallow for participating in this study, but if you decided to wait for 60 minutes, you can get 3 marshmallows. Some kids just cannot resist the lure of the pure white and sweetie marshmallows. They want them just now, right now, for that moment. But some kids start to think about it. Well, 60 minutes is kind of long, but if I wait for it, I can get 3 marshmallows. And that's a good deal. I'm going to do that. And later on, the scientists found out that the kids who chose to wait for the marshmallows develop a general better outcome in adulthood. I'm not blaming those kids who cannot really resist the instant pleasure from the marshmallow. Even some of our adults cannot resist the pleasure that are right in front of us. And that all comes down to one of the most powerful molecules on the planet, the dopamine. It offers us the anticipation of the reward and guide us to certain behaviors. Some people love food. Food is fundamental to human life and brings us a huge pleasure. But some people, if they cannot resist the lure from the food, they're going to develop binge eating. And some people really anticipate the big prize underlies the gambling table, and they start to compulsively gambling. And some people really enjoy the time spending with their friends in the virtual reality, fighting, killing, dominating, winning, and eventually they detach from the reality and develop compulsively gaming behavior. And even worse, some people choose to engage in drugs. Cocaine, Adderall, amphetamine, all those drugs rewire your brain circuit and lead the dopamine to only seek those drugs. You are not going to care about your school, your work, your family, even the people you love the most. You're only going to care about the drugs. And you become the addicts. Now, if you're thinking, if humans are so vulnerable, how can we become one of the most successful species on the planet? Well, some of us have to understand the concept of delaying gratification and make sacrifices. Quote Jordan Peterson, the successful amount as delaying gratification. The successful amount as bargain with the future. Now, when exactly have our ancestors started to appreciate the power of delaying gratification? It might all comes down when they cooperate with each other and hunt down big animals for food. Now, even though a group of humans hunt down a large mammoth, there's still going to be some leftover. And at that point, they were going through a series of mental progression and start to appreciate the concept of for future. I cannot have 8 mammoths now, so possibly I should keep some for later, so that I won't be hungry, and neither will the people that I care for. Well, I cannot eat them now, and I cannot store them forever. How about sharing some with the strangers, so that they might share with me when I have none? And maybe we can build trust between each other, and we can share forever. And from that point, the mammoth becomes the future mammoth, and future mammoth becomes the personal reputation. And that's the emergence of social construct. That's how our human not only just delay gratification for the survival of the species, but for the entire advancement of human civilization. If delaying gratification is so important, you might want to ask, what should be sacrificed? Adapting to the necessary discipline of mass school will fatally interfere with the licentious lifestyle of a compulsive undergraduate party animal. But to quote George Bush, becoming a physician can really put onto your family. It's really hard to resist the lure of partying, dancing, drinking, enjoying, having a whole lot of fun with friends on the weekend. But if you have a major assignment due by that time, you might sacrifice that time in order to be more focused on finishing up the assignment and having a good grade. How about this? Just totally get rid of those toxic friends who lead you to do compulsive behavior. What about getting to know some more interesting people? Some people with wide range of different expertise, and you go to improve yourself with them, build up your resume, and maybe continue your study into graduate school, or even having a better job. So, making small sacrifice might solve small problems, but making larger sacrifice might be more effective. So what exactly and how much you should sacrifice? Something personal, something extremely painful. If you want to rectify the flaw of human being, if you want to bring all the best possible feature into the world, you must sacrifice. So when exactly did I start to appreciate sacrificing? It all brings me back when I was an ignorant high school kid. I have a huge amount of appetite and I eat whatever I want. And I grew up a chubby body. I also compulsively gaming with my peers because I think, well, I still have time to make improvement on myself. I'm young. I'm all potential. Why cannot just enjoy this moment? And gradually, I start to realize that my peers start to develop certain expertise in different fields and they're really interesting. I realized that it's time for me to make a change, at least from external points. So I engage in dieting and really try to get down my weight and then become like this. Some people might think, well, it looked better. You develop some discipline and structure. But actually, that was the first point when I was really confusing. Because I know that this is not what I really want. Using the extreme method to diet is also unhealthy. I lose my energy to play basketball on court. My cheeks sucked in, and I start to lose my hair. I know that I should do more. The direction that I sacrifice maybe is just not correct. And then I decided to sacrifice further. I started to join the gym, to lift the heaviest amount of weight that I can, to really aim to change myself, at least from an external point. And I hope using the entire experiences to build some structure and discipline. On the left was the exact 1 year mark since I joined the gym, but I virtually looks like the same person. And then entering the second deepest confusion. What I did was wrong. Why I cannot transform myself. And after looking at the picture for a long time, I realized that there's always something right there that I resist to solve. I still binge once or twice. I struggle with my body image. And I mindlessly scrolling down social media at night and do not have enough sleep. And probably that's just a way for me to escape the harsh reality. At that point, I start to realize that I need to make further sacrifice. I need to regulate my diet, regulate my sleep, and also learn how to correctly exercise in order to achieve the effect that I really want. 2 years later, I've been waiting through the pandemic, but I did not choose to study synchronously to stay up late. I entirely fixed my sleep, but meanwhile, I also maintain active communication with my professors to catch up with my studies. And I never ceased to train even one day. And afterwards, I asked my friend to take a picture for me at the exact same spot, and I realized a huge difference. And that's a point I received the gratification. After looking at the picture, I think, how about preparing for a photo shoot to further see how much improvement that I've done and to record the moments of my life. Then I prepare for the photo shoot, and after looking at them, I feel moved immensely. I understand it's just not only about the physical change, but through all those years, I developed from an ignorant high school kid to a matured young adult who has the aim to strive for. Throughout the years, I also start to appreciate the beauty of clinical psychology, and I really want to enter in the grad school, continuously doing my research and using the knowledge to better inform the public. So, pick your sacrifice. And always remember, you can certainly enjoy your marshmallow, but maybe just not now. Thank you.